relax and laugh and applaud and think back and reminisce as much as you care to tonight. It's an evening for remembering a terrific season of football. Shows that it doesn't need to be quite that loud, I don't think. Just a little touch. There we go. Good. Before we do anything in the program this evening, let's take a moment while he's standing right here and show our appreciation to Joe McCauley and the entire Massena Volunteer Fire Department.
There you go, Joe.
The fire department puts on this annual dinner, and it is a very good one, and we certainly do appreciate it. Joe is the chairman of the committee, and the others on the committee are Ron Gordon, Stewie Thompson, the host of Stewie's Stool, our halftime show, Quenville, Bob Page, Jim Parisian, Bill Foster, and Tommy Villeneuve. We thank you all, gentlemen, very much. And the auxiliary, too. They came in and helped out quite a bit this evening, and our appreciation goes to them. We have many people who are going to speak this evening. We have many celebrities out in our audience here tonight as we gaze upon this crowd. We appreciate all of you coming. It's terrific to see the parents and brothers and sisters and the JV football players who are way in the back over here. The JVs are here to get a look at, guys, what enough hard work and enough dedication will get you someday, we hope. And we are pleased to have you here with us tonight as well. Let us get on with the program. First of all, I have the pleasure of introducing as our first speaker of the evening, His Honor the Mayor, His Worship the Mayor. The brand new, ladies and gentlemen, just named today, the brand new public relations consultant for the St. Lawrence Center Mall in Massena. And also the commissioner of our new wastewater treatment plant. For various reasons, understand, more reasons than one, Mr. Charles R. Boots.
Quite an introduction, Mr. Cook, quite an introduction. Well, I said I was going to be take a different stand this year than I did last year. We kidded around quite a bit last year, and certainly it's all in good fun, and that's what this is all about. I don't know who coined the phrase this year, what a ride, but I've used it several times. We used it on the radio. It's been in the newspaper. Coach D has used it, and certainly this has been one heck of a ride this year, going all the way to the semifinals in the state championship. I congratulate the team. Certainly from August 13th on to the last ball game was a long, long time. But in talking to the coaches, you didn't mind coming to practice. They didn't mind coming to practice. And they said this is one of the finest teams that ever has come down the pike. And certainly you're to be congratulated. Not only, go ahead, give me a round of applause. A lot of hard work. And for a season, I coined this phrase also during the season, something that almost didn't happen. We went through 3 budgets, and every one of them went down. Unheard of in Massena to have the athletic budget turned down. Other things may get turned down, but usually buses go through, the athletics goes through, and then we have to, go through, the others. But this year was a little bit different. And again, it almost didn't happen, and it would have been a sin not to have this happen with the hard work that you guys have put in. I've been with Sandy several years now. I think it's about 10 years we've been together. And during the Governor game, something happened to me and happened to him that has never happened to me before, and I don't think him either. You guys got behind right in the beginning of the ball game. It was a fumble, boom, they scored a touchdown, but okay, so it happened. And you guys came back. I don't know if it's the first touchdown or the second touchdown, but I've never had cold chills watching a high school player run down the field to score a touchdown. It didn't happen once, it happened twice in that ball game. This is the kind of thing that you guys did for the people in Massena, and I think probably for yourselves also, because you can't leave yourself out when you play a particular sport, and we're talking about football here. You have to congratulate yourselves. You did a lot of hard work. So again, I congratulate you. The Village of Massena is very, very proud of you. To the coaches, a lot of dedicated and hard work also. They have to give up a lot of things, and Coach D will talk about that later on. And the last group of people I'd like to congratulate, and I put it in my letter that they asked me to do for the booklet, and that's the parents. Without good parents, without good backing, these guys that try to teach these young people every day, it's very, very difficult. In the classroom, outside on the athletic field, this is their teaching station, and the things that they learn out there certainly are going to be things that they carry on into the future. And again, without that backing, the late meals, the little pat on the back when they get hurt, things like that, it makes it very, very difficult. So if you parents, you've done one heck of a good job. Again, congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of our traveling companions over the last couple of weeks of the season. Funny thing, right up until about noon on the Friday we left to go to Clifton Park, about 5 minutes to 12, it was, well, I don't think I can go. Charlene won't let me go. I have to stay home. My wife just won't let me out of the house. And Jack Morgan came up and kind of, no, actually it was more of a, and Dwayne says, well, okay, I can go, I guess. He was a pleasure to have with us, and it's a pleasure to introduce him, the supervisor of the town of Massena, Dwayne Hazelton.
Thank you, Sandy. Good evening, everybody. Honored guests of the football team. As I was sitting back today, kind of thinking of what to say tonight or something like that, you know, the thing that hit me was tradition. Massena football tradition in general in Massena. I seen a bunch of guys, and then talking to some of the football players, this was a campaign that didn't start this year. It started with the inception of them starting to play football. And their idea was to become the champions of the Northern League and to go as far as they could go. And believe me, they did a tremendous job in going that far. You know, I played on a football team that won 14 games. It took us 2 years. This team here, you know, you play 13 ball games. Did a tremendous job. And you know, the other things that have developed through this season, you gained a bag lady and the athletic director collecting cans. I got down to, I was down at Kingston, and as I was sitting in the bleachers, the guy next to me from New Paltz said, where are your cheerleaders? I said, what? I said, right next to me, look over here in the stand. The sign started coming up. Holy cow, he said, those are the parents. I said, yeah, and they're the cheerleaders also. He says, boy, you know, he says, that's got to be tradition when parents support the kids like they do here. I said, that's what our community's all about. These kids took us on a ride this year, like the mayor said, and it was a great ride. And guys, I thank you because, for myself and the rest of the community, because I really enjoyed that ride. And in the future, you set the example. You know, as I picked up that book of Northern League records down there in Kingston. You know, the first team in the state that has the longest winning record is Massena, 55 straight. You go down to about 15th, whose name's there again? Massena, 47 games straight. But not to complete, I think we're probably the only team that's on there 3 times. There's another 17-game winning streak, which Coach D took the 1980 team to the first Super Bowl against Peru. And you guys have gone 2 better than that. Again, the community is very proud of you, and we thank you for the ride.
Thank you, Dwayne. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you for a few words one of our county legislators from St. Lawrence County, a gentleman who works in Canton and will be working a very short couple of days, as a matter of fact, and works right upstairs, too, here at the Massena Fire Hall. Our Sean Gregg. Thank you, Sandy. This time I'd like to have the coach come up here if he would. I have a couple of presentations to make. Not all from me. One of these, this is a letter addressed to the coach, and I'll take the liberty of reading it. Dear Coach D'Agostino, I'd like to convey my sincere congratulations to you and the Massena Red Raider football team for the inspiring year and athletic awards they have achieved. A great deal of effort on your part as coach and work, determination, and perseverance on the part of the players has come to a satisfying conclusion. The team is to be recommended for their undefeated season and the number of distinguished accomplishments that they can add to their high school and personal records. You have indeed set an outstanding example for our athletic teams in the area. With warmest regards and best wishes for continued success, I remain respectfully yours, Chloe Ann O'Neill, member of the Assembly. Thank you. And Tony, on behalf of the legislature, I'd like to present you with the two certificates, and I'll read them. They're brief. Certificate of recognition to Massena varsity football team for achieving the rank of state semifinalist for the year 1994 with an overall record of play under the direction of Coach Tony D'Agostino, presented December 10th, 1994. And also a certificate of recognition, whereas the Massena varsity football team earned a season record of 11-1, and whereas the Massena varsity football team was the undefeated league champion for the season, sectional champions, Section 7 and 10 Super Bowl champions, regional champions, and one of the state semifinalists. And whereas by their outstanding athletic achievements, the members of the Massena varsity football team has brought great recognition and honor to their school, community, and St. Lawrence County. Now therefore be it resolved that the St. Lawrence County honors and recognizes the athletes and coaches of the Massena varsity football team for their accomplishments in 1994.
Thank you, Sean, and our thanks to Assemblyperson O'Neill and the legislature for those honors. Next, here to say a few words to you this evening is the president of the Massena Central School Board of Education, and a man who enjoys dessert as much as I do, Roger Bennett.
Folks, this is a real hard act to follow. When you work with Sandy here and you get the second dessert, tonight I couldn't shame him into it, so I didn't have the second. But anyway, I'd like to thank the Massena Volunteer Fire Department for inviting me to this banquet. And it's certainly been an interesting year, as you can see here. And I know the budget went down, but I'd like to thank the Booster Club and the Football Booster Club for supporting this team. I think the most important fact of all this is all the reports that I've received of how hard the players have worked and how they've worked as a team. And that's very important. And I hope in the future that they will see that this hard work has paid off and they will go on and become excellent workers outside of the football team, and also the players that remain can also stay and do an excellent job next year. On behalf of the school board, I'd like to congratulate the team and for a job well done. And I think this is great, and I thank you again.
Thank you, Roger. We appreciate your being here tonight. And any other board members out here? John, I saw you out here. John Lambert, are there any other board members here? Anyway, we thank you for coming. We appreciate your support and your showing of recognition of this football team. Next is the principal of Massena Central High School, a man who backs these students day in and day out from door number one to the last minute they leave the school building every day, Kendall Stretch.
Thank you, Sandy. I don't want to go over all kinds of territory that's already been covered, but I would like to add my thanks to the fire department for the outstanding meal. I guess I would say God bless the cook and all the cookies, as it was outstanding again. We do want to congratulate the adults from our staff and from the community who work with our young folks, but I guess I'd like to focus on the people who were the team members. I'd like to say, guys, we're proud of you. I can't go over line by line, play by play, and I can hear you years from now still able to do that from many of these games, from many of the matches that you were involved in. But I would like to say that as you look back on the season, and you'll continue to do that for a long time because you got lots of recognition, you got much honor from it. You'll think of a lot of things that you learned and a lot of things that you experienced along the way. It's my belief that you had this real roller coaster ride in many areas because you had highs and you had lows. You felt pressure, you felt release from pressure. You felt lots of exhilaration along the way, and of course you had to feel some letdown from time to time. You experienced winning, ultimately had to taste some defeat, but we weren't disappointed at all when you got to that point. You had joy, we experienced mourning. You've had all kinds of events that have enriched your lives, and that if you'll deal with them in the way that they have been added to your experiences, they'll certainly enrich your futures too. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and a special thanks to the community, to the parents. Just think of how we boosted the economy with all those thousands of dollars we put in all the extra trips that had to happen this year. Team members, you were a team. You had excellent sportsmanship, and in every sense of the word, you were gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendall, very much. Time now for me to have the extreme high honor and pleasure of introducing someone without whom Massena Athletics just would not have happened this past fall. Ladies and gentlemen, our athletic director, Martha Slack.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have many people that I want to congratulate, many people that I want to thank. I would like to start with the JV football team and congratulate them on a super season that they had this year. They played very well. They hung together. They know what kind of a program they're in, and we appreciate everything that they did. I would also like to thank the coaches of the JV football team, the Nick and Rick Show, Nick Zappia, Rick Pound, Timmy Cole is here, and also Twinkie. I can never remember Twinkie's real name, Tim Wilkins, who also worked for the JV team, and we appreciate everything that you guys did in that season. I'd also like to, I don't think Ed Latham is here tonight, but I'd like to thank Ed and Jeff Slack for the work that they did with the freshman football team. That was also appreciated. One award I have to give, I've had this since August. Mary Arcady and I went to a meeting downstate and we found this. Coach DiAgostino was very concerned at the beginning of the football season that he wasn't going to have enough equipment because of the fact that he was an austerity budget. And he kept saying, are we going to have footballs? Are we going to have helmets? Are we going to... We said, don't worry, we'll have it all. Well, Mary and I came up with some equipment. Stewie Thompson will appreciate this. In the end, it didn't really matter because we had PJ, but we got coach of football. This is the farthest flying football. This is your equipment. I would like to thank some other people who helped out this season. If we did not have the help that we had through the Booster Club, through the Football Booster Club. As the mayor said, what a shame it would have been if we had not been able to experience this season and let these guys do what they did this season. We started back in July raising money with the bottle drive, with the concession stand over at Alcoa, selling tickets on the car, selling tickets on the Christmas bonus. And that couldn't have been done without the people that are sitting out here more towards the back of the room, the parents. You people were so supportive. Anytime you were asked to do something, to pitch in and help out, I never had anyone say, I can't do it or I'm too busy. And that's a compliment to you people that you believed in your kids and wanted them to have the experience of being able to participate in athletics. And without that, we wouldn't have been here. So those were the people that raised the money and did everything to get there. I'd also like to thank these two gentlemen over here with the Football Booster Club, Ronnie Fauché and Bobby McDonald, because without the support that they gave to this football program from the bottom up, with the freshmen, the JV, and the varsity, we wouldn't be there either. And you guys put a lot of time in, and it is appreciated. Thank you. I'd also like to thank a gentleman, and he's kind of my sidekick in the winter because we spend a lot of time together in a different field of play, Dr. Dobies, who is, never mind, the ice. Dr. Henry Dobies, he is there for every game. He's very supportive of our kids. We ran into a lot of problems with this season because we questioned whether we were even going to have a season. We were after him quite often. We have another kid to do a physical. Can we send him down? Can you come up? Can we take him to junior high? And he is always there, always supporting the program. And Henry, we appreciate all the time that you put into our program. Thank you. Another person that I have to thank is our top salesman, and without this guy, I don't know where we'd be, John Story. When we were selling the tickets on that car, John, he had one thing on his mind. He was going to raise money for the athletic program, and there wasn't anything that was going to stop him. John, I think, sold 151 raffle tickets on that car. John, for all your support, not only with the tickets on the car, but everything that you do and the way you support our kids. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Sandy Zappia. Sandy, at every home football game, I was busy sometimes with a concession stand or out selling the tickets at the gate and different things. Before the season started, Sandy offered to come down, sit at the games, and sell the tickets on the car, the tickets on the football, the tickets on the Syracuse game, everything that we were selling. She was there for every single game, and I appreciate that. She didn't have to be there. She didn't have to be doing that. She also, with her participation in government class, raise money, and we appreciate that. Thanks, Sandy. Now down to the nitty-gritty. These guys. You know, to say that we were on a ride, it was just, it's hard to put into words, and I don't think you guys realize, I think someday you will, I don't think you really realize what you did for Massena Central, for the community of Massena, and everyone that's here. It was just fantastic. You guys were gentlemen, you won, and you just represented us so well. It's unbelievable, I guess are the words. I would also like to take a moment and thank these guys that are here, Quinny and Albert, Digger, David, and Tony, for everything that they put into this program and the way that they believed in this group of kids. And right from the word go, that's all that ever came out of their mouths. What a great bunch of kids. What a great bunch of kids to work with. And that was just through the whole season. That's all we ever heard. And that's a compliment to you guys. And in the back of the book, I related to what I told the people at the Hall of Fame this year. That pain is temporary, but pride is forever. And that's going to sink in someday with you guys too. Because I think that's the way you handled the season. And it was just great. 11-1. It's been a long time since we've been 11-1. And that's important. But I'll tell you what meant more to me than anything in the world was the letter that we got from Stan Riggs that was in the paper. And it said they didn't even know you were in the locker room or in the gyms because you were so well behaved and picked up. The other thing, we were down in Kingston and there was an older couple that was in the sauna. And the gentleman, I had gone down and he called me over. He said, "Are you the athletic director for Massena?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I have to tell you, we were sitting here, my wife and I, and these guys started to come in after practice, and he said, I said to my wife, oh no, all the quiet is going to go. And he said, I have to tell you, you have the greatest bunch of kids that I've ever met. He said, they came in, they sat down, they talked to us about their season, what they were doing, why they were here. And he said, that's just great. They're a super bunch of kids. And after Kingston, every time I was out of school, downtown, on the streets, people said to me, time after time after time, people I didn't even know, what a fantastic season you had, and what a fantastic bunch of kids you had, and what a job they did. To me, 11-1 is here, but the rest of it is here. And we are so extremely proud of you guys and what you did. Congratulations.
And Martha, we are proud of you too, believe me. Well, we're going to start dishing out some hardware at this time. And we have a lot of it to go here this evening, as you can see. I talk to a guy at 5:15 every night who usually does the sleigh ride routine, but I don't know. I'm going to tell you something. If you guys want Christmas after tonight, you're going to have to talk to somebody else, I guess. First of all, do the honors of introducing their team. We'd like to welcome, and I'd like you to welcome the co-captains of the New York State Northern Region champion Massena varsity football team, Sean Fauché and Corey David. And here with Sean and Corey will be the president of the Massena Football Club, a gentleman who, again, without him and Bob, this season would not have taken place. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Fauché.
Thank you, Sandy. Everybody keeps asking me, who's the football club? Well, you're looking at it right here. It's the parents, it's the community, and that's what we're all about. All I and Bobby do, and a few other people do, is ship the money from here or there and get things done. But without the community, without you parents, we really wouldn't be nothing this year. Because when we asked, when we went out, when we made phone calls, you were there. All because of these guys here and those guys out there. We really appreciate that. Tonight, in honoring the team, we have quite a few things to give out. And if we'd done it piece by piece, we'd be here for another 2 hours. So what we've done, to make it shorter, is we placed a lot of things on the tables for the boys. And when Sean and Corey introduce the boys, I'll hand them their individual plaque with their picture. and the team picture. Each and every one of the players, coaches, managers, and a few other people will receive these. To go any further, I would like to thank an individual to help me with these. Mr. Tom Chase, please stand up. Debbie did all the work on these as far as making the plaques, staining the plaques, making the holes in the plexiglass and everything else. And then I took them with the pictures and with my computer and a few other things, made various plaques to give out to the boys. Along with this, and it's also on the tables for the seniors, is a 8x10 picture we took. We made statuettes. Some of the players just hold up their statuettes. Some of the seniors. Yeah. But all the seniors received statuettes of themselves that we took pictures of. Also on the table, Tony, because of what the team has done and where they progressed along the line, each player received certificates. And on the table in front of everybody, we have the Section 10 Championship Certificate and Patch. We have the Super Bowl Section 7 and 10 Certificate. And we also have a Regional Class B Championship Certificate that each one of the boys received, and it's on the table. Along with that, the seniors also received their jerseys. To help Martha in her program, we figured, and we started this 3 years ago, that we would buy seniors old jerseys so Martha could replace them with new ones. What we're doing is actually we're buying new jerseys and we're giving the boys the old jerseys. And all the seniors have their jerseys tonight that we place in the back of the chairs. There's a few other things we'll give out here later, but there's one other thing that I'm really proud of, and I want to talk about it a little bit. 3 weeks ago, Tim and Chris Mock, will you please stand? Come forward. Come on, Chris. Just about 3 weeks ago, Chris spoke to my wife and said she had an idea. And then my wife, directed her over to me, and she said, when one of my older boys graduated and they had a banquet, they had a scrapbook for him. And she showed me the scrapbook, and then she gave me some ideas. And went out in town, talked to Mr. Tom Sullivan about the book, the contents of the papers, everything else. And when I first thought, I said, 3 weeks before the banquet, we'll never get this done. Well, Mr. Sullivan was kind enough to give us the books and the 60-some pages per book, free, well over $400 worth of materials. And that's what got everything started. Then, Mrs. Mock and her team from Alcoa went to work. As a community service from Alcoa did all the work internal to this. We got over 110 news articles, took them, put them on a 8.5 by 11 sheet, reduced them, and made this scrapbook. We made it for each one of the players. The football club sent away to have the emblem done in Minnesota. But most of the work was done thanks to Mr. Mock at Alcoa. And I think that's a good... Later on, when you get a chance to look at this, take a look on the inside. Most of the internal pages were done by Mrs. Debbie Sienkiewicz on the computer at Alcoa. And even some of the colored pictures that are in here, that turned out beautiful. Every one of the boys have their individual numbers on the player up front then there's other individual names for certain individuals. And there's pictures. This is something the boys will never forget because they have it all right here, the entire season. And thank you very much. And on behalf of the Mocs, a big real special thanks. And unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight, is Mr. Tom Sullivan for getting us started on this. So each one of the players and a few other people have these around the room. Please, before you leave tonight, take a look at them. For Sean and Corey to introduce the players, I said, okay, you go ahead and introduce them. I'll hand them their individual plaques. Plus for the seniors, this year, we bought each senior a jacket. Can you grab one of the jackets, Sean, please? First. Each one of the seniors will receive a jacket. Senior football emblem on the back. They have your number on one sleeve, position on another sleeve, and their name on front. It's football club gift to our team. All John Corey, along with their plaques, up here, and as they introduce each player, each of the players' spots, please, and I'll hand you a plaque, and you
Mike Byron.
Stick into the mic.
Michael Barton.
Brian Barta.
Brian Barta.
Chris Briggs. Mike Brassard. Steve Kahn. Tim Carbonell. Kuz, Frank Kazakuya. Jason Converse. Mike Dion. Steve Darrow. Bobby Flynn. Greg Fischel. Vern Hell. Mark Strigo. Chris Udall. Matt Henry.
Christian LaRose. Ryan Kerwin. Nick Lazarchuk. Corey Lajam. Matt Lincoln. Jamie Mock. Jensen Massop. Shane Lytle. Donnie Moffett. Jimmy Morrow. Brian Peets. Jason Peets. John Rose. PJ Rochford. John Savins. Austin Rush. Pat Trickney. Nick Sankiewicz. Callie Wells. And Bob Palaio.
I have a few more plaques to give out to the water boys. And along with these, we have each one of the coaches. Begin with Dave Fabian. Two people in the background that really help out with the team. I just want to recognize this real quick. Our first one, you all know, is Mark Black. Where would it be without Booth? Without Henry? Along with that, we had good TV coverage. I want to thank Mr. Edwards. And lastly, we have Mr. Tom McCauley, who, with Tom and all his kids, got the fields ready before and after the game. Tom, can you come forward? Finally, we have Mr. Joe McCauley, who was our cameraman that gave sneak preview to go for the boys to review on Monday morning and say, okay, here's what you did wrong, guys. Joe. Okay, I think what the boys want to do now to save time is hand out the various gifts to the coaches and to one special lady.
We would just like to thank Mrs. Flack for all her hard work this season. The budget went down, and she just busted her butts to let us play, and we'd just like to thank her for that. Open it up. We'd also like to thank Coach Steve if he'd come up here and receive his gift. Well, you can't hear me? Okay. All right. I'd also like to thank Coach Sidden, if you'd come up too, please. Speak. And Coach McCall, if he'd come up too, please. Who's that? Coach Donaldson. Coach Zapier. We'd also like Louis, if you'd come up here, please.
What a great bunch of guys. Thank you for letting me participate in such a group. Thank you again.
As a team, we also thought that the Massena Football Club couldn't go without being thanked, so we all got together, gave some money, and we got them a plaque, and I'll read to you what it says. It says, presented to the Massena Football Club for their contribution and dedication to the Massena football team. This plaque carries with it a sincere thank you, the Massena Varsity Football Team, 1994. They want all the coaches open their gifts and show them off. I think you all should know Coach D this morning was crying because he wasn't getting one of those jackets. Now he's got one.
To Ron and the players, Ron and Bob and all the guys and the recipients, congratulations. Pretty neat stuff. No. You will be, Quinny. Just relax, Quinny. You want to be up now? Well, come right up now then. Hey, let me just take my agenda here, just a minute.
The coaches, we have a special gift to a young man who's been with us and helped us out, kind of behind the scenes as far as getting practices organized and getting the videotape for the football players and all. And Bobby Bleal, he's our manager, by the way. He's a senior.
Quinny, is that all for now? Okay. It's amazing. This is the first banquet I think you've spoken at since we've been having them, since you've been on the staff. We have come to that point of the program where we have left to do the major awards. It is my pleasure at this point, before we start handing out the individual awards for this evening, to come up and to say a few words. I think he's about due his turn. Many have talked about him, and many have spoken in the highest regard of him because that's where we hold him. Our varsity football coach, Johnny DiAugustino.
Stop applauding, stay on your feet and stretch out for a few minutes. Stay up and stretch out a little bit. Thank you very much. And just a couple of statements to start this off. That's the first time I heard that. I don't know how you did that. And secondly, what a ride. I believe it came after the first St. Lawrence Central game or the second St. Lawrence Central game when one of the reporters asked me, what does it feel like? And that's all. Those are the only words I could come up with, was what a ride. I'd like to start this off, if you would, by taking a moment of silence to remember Andy Mock, Monsignor Brown, Rose Mitica, and all deceased loved ones. If you would, please, one moment. Thank you. Late in the year, Sandy told me one time he came in to do an interview with the players, and as we were sitting there talking, he looked at me and he says, boy, you look tired. He says, I think you need to let your hair down. I guess I'm gonna. I'm losing my hair, but then again, I've got my hair. The way the kids wear their caps today, I got one. Does that match? To continue on with this, Stewie, are you still back there? Joe, is Stewie back there? Stewie, you want to get a chair? I got a lot of them tonight. Before I get into this too far, I want to make 3 statements. Number 1, to everyone that I forget to thank, I thank you. Secondly, our season and our success had nothing whatsoever to do with the school budget. Thirdly, and sincerely, parents and eligible voters, don't ever let this happen to our kids again. Make sure we mark it on that calendar. Make sure we get out and make sure we vote. A lot of thank yous to get through. To my brother fireman. Am I still a fireman, Chief? To my brother fireman and the ladies auxiliary. To Joe McCauley, especially, and his crew. Just an excellent job. Thank you. People, I have a lot of these. And rather than applauding for each, maybe we'll just save it to the end if you would, please. To the Mitica family, thank you for initiating this. To the sponsors of our awards, to our newspapers, to WEPT, and to WMSA and Sandy and Charlie and crew. Thank you. I can remember viewing a tape
and listening to our commentators after one of our games. I went back and I had to watch the tape again because I didn't know what the hell kind of an offense I was trying to run there for a while. I wasn't sure what I was doing. The only thing I can say is this guy exciting or what? Huh? It's great to have you there, really. Our chain crew, they've been with us for years now. Jack Morgan, Larry Ziegler, Tommy the Bone McComb, and Jimmy Davian. To Bob Morgan, who does our clock, even though he's retired from teaching now, he's up by that time, especially if it's a Friday night game. To David McLennan, who does a great job for us announcing, letting the people in the stands know what's going on, and keeping me on my toes as far as knowing the numbers of our players, because I don't know them. To Monsignor Pendergast, I want to take the time to thank him for being with us through a busy schedule that I know he has, and we finally got that Notre Dame hat off him and got a Red Raider cap on him. To all the people down the stretch who backed us, and to those who backed us financially, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. We talked about cheerleaders earlier. We had our own cheerleaders, led by Connie Bardo and Linda Morrow. Are they here? Want to stand up, please? Do you want to lead us in a cheer? We are the Raiders! Mighty, mighty Raiders! Thank you. To you parents, thank you for letting us have your sons. Thank you for raising them like you have. And you deserve to be very proud of your sons. You've done a great job. Thank you. To our staff, to Kendall, for his dedication and his athletic support, I thank you. To Martha, for her never give up attitude. And I think that attitude goes to our players, not just in football, but all athletics. When you've got a leader like that who never gives up, teaches them to never give up. And to Martha also, for her ability to juggle 20 jobs at the same time, and an unending dedication to the youth of Massena. Thank you, Martha. To our football club, how many years ago was that it was formed? 4 years ago. Ronnie, you weren't back at that time. I went to Bobby McDonald one day and I said, Bobby, we've somehow got to get some money. With the way our budget is for football, we're just not going to be able to do it. By the time we buy enough equipment for the 3 levels for over 100 participants, we don't have any money to do anything else. And that's all I said. And Bobby McDonald took it upon himself to get that organization going. And it's going and it's getting bigger and bigger every year. Don't leave it, parents. It's needed and it's very important. And to Bobby and Ronnie, I want to just take a minute here. I have a little presentation for them. It took me a trying time to get these pictures away from OJ. He doesn't just give stuff away, I can tell you that. But to Bobby, there's a picture with all the players and the signatures on it. It's not much for what he's done for us, but it's just a little token of our appreciation. Boy, it's a son of a gun when you get old, you know. Others that were involved that helped us, Dickie and Judy Flynn. I see Dickie standing up. Is Judy back there with you? Somewhere? Want to stand up? These two took it upon themselves to get that raffle going last year out at the mall and raised, what, $2,000 off from that for the football program. There are others, Frank and Marianne Taraska, Connie and Linda for running the 50-50 raffles. Gotta thank you very much. To Joe McCauley for his volunteering his service to do our video. It's very unselfish of a person who's not in the school system, but willing to make these trips to Kingston out of his own pocket to take or video these ball games. To Tom and Linda McCauley. Tom's here. Linda's probably working in the back, right, Tommy? Linda? Linda's around somewhere, probably won't stand up, but Linda, thank you for letting us have Tom. Tom does our equipment for us and does a very good job at it. To my family, there's an old saying, you know, behind every successful man, there's a dedicated woman. My wife, Emily, and she tells me not to pick on her or anything, but she's my loving and dear wife, and I love her very much. My oldest daughter, Amy, is here with us. She's going to bite the dust New Year's Eve. We haven't got her at home very much longer. My oldest daughter, Amy. My son, Anthony, I guess, has left. He has a hockey game that he had to get to. We have another daughter, Angie, who's at Plattsburgh State studying. I can remember one year, as Amy was reminding me the other day when they were little, and I was speaking, and I made the comment about my wife being the backbone of our family, and Angie misinterpreted it and said I said the baboon of our family. Boy, it was tough getting in the house that night. To our coaches, successful head coaches are made by hardworking, dedicated, and loyal assistant coaches. With that, I introduce and thank them. At the freshman level, Jeff and his wife Martha Slack, and I want to at this time thank Jeff for taking it upon himself during those final 2 weeks of the season to just let me concentrate on coaching football, and he was making all the arrangements and on the telephone. Charlie, he was on the telephone, my telephone, quite a bit during that period of time. Jeff, thanks a million. Jeff's assistants at that level were Ed Latham, Rolf Herbstler, who volunteered his services. Did Rolf make it? No. And Jeff Mayer, who's one of our former ball players, who is back looking for work, but he volunteered his services with the modified level. At the JV level, Nikki Zappia, Rick Pound, and two volunteer coaches, Timmy Cole and Timmy Wilkins. And if I'm wrong, guys, correct me. Is that our best JV record in 6 years that we've had? Is that right back there, you JV players? Do you know? The coaches say yes.
Yeah.
So we're on our way. We're on our way. We've got some very fine football players coming to us next year from that JV level. Is that right, JVs? I say, is that right, JVs?
Yeah!
I didn't hear you.
Yeah!
I still haven't heard you.
Yeah!
Good. Just be quiet like these guys were and let us work with you. At the varsity level, first I got to thank Louis Trevino. He's our ball man. He's our cheerleader. He's the keeper of officials on their toes. And he's the deliverer of apples to the players after practice. Louis, thank you. Moving to the coaches at the varsity level, and I've got to put this as bluntly as I can. These are the best damn coaches a guy could ask for. And we've got them. And coaches, as I introduce you, if you have something to say, let's do it now. Quentin and Jan Sidden, want to stand, please? Quentin does both sides of the ball on the line and all our computer work because I don't know how to turn it on yet, but Jeff's going to teach me.
It's been a heck of a ride, man. And as you've heard this over and over again, these fellows have been the best that I've ever worked with. Proud to have worked with them. Hard-working boys that never wanted to quit until it was right. I'll tell you one quick story. Just before the Governor game, we're running a play, trying to run a play, and it doesn't go very well. Sean gets tackled right at the line of scrimmage just during practice. Coming back to the huddle, Donnie and Brian are talking to each other. Something that we've asked them to do all the time. So what's the matter, guys? Well, this Coach Donaldson's defense over there has got us goofed up, and we're trying to sort this out. Well, they're in the huddle, and Sean's down in his stance in the huddle, and it's a long practice. He's getting tired, and they're still talking about it. Sean says, "Come on, let's get this going." Brian says, "If we don't get this right, you don't get any yards." So we have to run the play again. But that's the type of guys that these were. Very proud. Thanks.
The next three that I introduce here are all volunteers, day in and day out. First, David and Sandy Zappia. Nothing to say, Coach? David works with the backs on both sides of the ball, and he also does the spotting for us up in the tower. And he reads my mind sometimes better than I do. And I tell you openly, if it hadn't been for him up there, we would have lost a couple of ball games. Thanks, David. Gary and Sandy Donaldson. I'll stand, please. Digger works both sides of the line for us and also acts as our trainer because those guys don't want me anywhere near them with tape. Digger.
Parents, I'd just like to say you got a great bunch of guys right here. It's been a pleasure to go to practice. I look forward to every afternoon. I look forward to go to practice to work with this bunch of boys. Great bunch of guys. You guys coming back next year, do it again.
Albert and Yvonne Nicola. Albert acts as our defensive coordinator. He came back to us after a stint over at St. Lawrence University and gave me a birthday present one summer saying that he was going to come back and coach at home. Not only is our defensive coordinator, but he keeps me under control on the sidelines. And I'm sure that being in politics, he has a few words to say.
There are two interesting sidelines to this story. And as a result of this season, there are two people who are going to have new jobs next year. They're in the process now of working out fee-splitting arrangements. Is Doc, you still here? Doc Dovies? Yeah. Digger works from the ground under. Literally, but I got to make fun of Mike Dion here for a second.
Digger is going to, if he can work out the fee splitting with Doc, he's going into diagnosing injuries, especially nose injuries. Mike Dion's nose looked like mine. Digger, after taking it like this and giving it a 90-degree turn, decreed that it wasn't broken. It probably wasn't when he started, but it was after he got done. And then Doc came up, took it, and pushed it back the other way. At which time Liz Dion fainted. And I made the comment, Liz, it's not tough going through life looking like this. And she said, yes, it is. And the other one who's going to, if you can work it out with the bishop, who's going to have another job next year is Father Pendergast. And Father is going to become defensive coordinator. Because they kid me that, you see, you guys don't, you parents don't know this. Corey knows this and the other defensive guys. Defensive people always read upside down. Do you know how hard it is to put those things down in that white thing upside down? In every game, Father Pendergast was over to the point where he could play the option better than we could. And the only problem is, Father, we got no fees to split. So I think Digger's going to come out better than you. Parents, I would like to say this to you. This is the moment that we've kind of all dreaded, and this is the time that we have to give your sons back to you. We've kept them for 3.5 months, and they took us on an incredible journey, and they gave us more memories than any person has a right to expect in a lifetime. And for that, we thank them, and we were so proud of them, especially the seniors, and a special thanks to Corey and Sean for the leadership, and it was just absolutely incredible, and you're the finest bunch I've ever been around.
Thank you, Albert. And that more or less closes as far as the thank yous. And again, believe me, if I missed you, I'm sorry. This season, people have asked me what made this team so good. And after thinking about it for a while, I think it was about 4 or 5 simple words. 1, leadership, our 2 captains and our seniors. 2, faith in themselves and faith in their teammates. 3, hope. At first they hoped they could, and through hard work they believed and knew and did. 4thly, love and respect for themselves and for their teammates. And basically, that's what I believe made us so successful. Stewie, I'm almost done. See, cheer? Like Albert just said, this is really the part that I hate to face. I'm not a baby, but I am emotional. To our seniors, we say to you, we love, respect, and wish for your life's dreams to come true. Thanks for your dedication and just fantastic leadership that you gave Massena Central School and its athletes and its non-athletes, because I see a difference in our high school already. I could carry on with you guys forever. The only thing I say to you is, you know, my door is open, the house is open, And when you're home, I expect to see you. And to those that owe me those sheets, I'm still waiting. To our underclassmen, we say, you've got it started. The best JV record that we've had in 6 years. Our juniors that were on this varsity team, as few as they may have been, grew up immensely during this year. And I believe that they're ready to step in and get the same type of job done next year. We know you can do it. All you've got to do is start believing you can do it. Is that right, Austin? The reason why I use Austin, this will be with me for the rest of my life. We're out in Brazier, not this past season, 2 seasons ago. Corey and Jimmy are injured. It's Austin's turn. And I'm hollering, Austin, Austin. Finally, he gets up there next to me. And I said, you got to go. Are you ready? But he was ready this year. In closing, I say simply this. Thanks for the memories. What a ride. And how about them Red Raiders? Thank you.
Individual awards. I believe we have Tim Mock who would like to make a presentation. Tim, of course, the manager of operations at our local Alcoa plant. And of course, Alcoa has been, is a member of the Massena High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Tim?
A couple of weeks ago, George Smith, who's sitting right over here in the audience, came up to me at work and said, we'd like to make something in our machine shop for the team. And I said, George, keep it affordable, please. And so they've done that, and we see a lot of trophies around for the team, and we concluded that the coach needs a trophy. So, Coach DiAgostino, would you come up here, please? On behalf of Alcoa and a lot of folks in the community, we'd just like to thank you for an outstanding season and for everything that you've done for our kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mock. Outstanding, George. That's really something. That's a keepsake. That is a beautiful piece of work. George, where are you? Stand up here and take a bow for doing that, will you? Stand up here. A good Cowboy fan. Really want to repeat that final score from today's game. Cleveland 19? An AFC team? Oh boy. Okay. Now we'll get on here with the individual awards. Mr. Digger, would you like to? There are 2 people in this world now after tonight who will be famous for standing along the sidelines and handing it over to the host. One of them, of course, is Vanna White. The other is Gary Donaldson, who you'll notice was wearing a Christmassy tie this evening with big ornaments. It is my pleasure to introduce, first of all, to give the academic award, the principal of Massena Central High School, once again, Mr. Kendall Strait.
It's my pleasure on behalf of the administration of Massena Central High School to ask this young man to come forward to receive the academic award, Mr. Ryan Kerwin.
Tony, a good Buffalo Bills fan. Thank you, Connie. Here to now give the Rookie of the Year award on behalf of the Massena Daily Courier Observer, and we'll take a moment here to thank, even though he is not here this evening, we don't think he's here anyway. Ryan Martin, are you here again? We thank the Courier Observer for their terrific coverage of this football team from near and far, and by golly, it's going to be Mr. Digger who presents the award.
The Rookie Award is a first-year player on the varsity, and for the Rookie of the Year in 1994, Frank Katsakria.
It's good to win an award when Republicans win Congress. Wow! Wow! Well, of course, we had the occasion to drive by Albany, of course, on the way down to Kingston, and Charlie was in the van with us. And Charlie teared up quite a bit as he drove by Albany, you know. But excuse me. Now, I have the pleasure of giving the WMSA Unsung Hero Award this evening. And as I do this with a great deal of pride, I first of all would like to take a moment or two from the radio station to thank you, the players, for providing us with such a terrific campaign to call, out of control or not. Whether I lost it, the fact of the matter is I lost it with great sincerity and with true emotion, because I was so happy to see you guys doing so well as you always do. And to Tony and to the players, I thank you all for helping us out on the pregame show, your cooperation, especially when we got towards the end and it was crazy, and Tony was telling me about all the media people calling him up every hour of the night, basically. And I sure do appreciate that, Tony. I know it takes time out of your day, and it's really appreciated on behalf of us. I would like to thank Alcoa for being with us for 11 years on the pregame show, and hope you'll stay with us. And to all of our sponsors and folks, by the time we got to Kingston, we were running on the almost 30 sponsors for Red Raider football, and we thank all of our sponsors for that as well. I want to take a moment, too, to thank Charlie, who is just terrific to work with. We have a great time in the booth, and he's really a pleasure to have around. We just enjoy football. We enjoy talking football and calling it. And I also want to thank guys like Joe McCauley and Jack Morgan and Dick Blaze, Dwayne Hazelton, and Charlie, who were with us at Hudson Falls, folks. Without them on the sidelines, and they're literally walking up and down the sidelines from fourth down, you know, here's the play. That broadcast doesn't get done without their help. And, of course, without the help of Tom McCauley, whose telephone I'm standing on the sidelines and talking to. Well, the bill, hey, it'll be cheaper than AT&T, I'll tell you that. Anyway, to all of you who helped us in our football broadcasts, we thank you. And to this terrific football team, we thank you for allowing us to provide people with a lot of memories. The Unsung Hero Award is given to someone who does his job day in and day out
game in and game out, and works hard, maybe doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. Tonight, he's going to get that recognition. You heard how he stepped in Peru and did just a marvelous job scoring the touchdown that won the game, blocking a punt. His foot kept us alive all year long. He's a tremendous young man. I've had the pleasure of talking with him several times through the season, and I know he's one heck of a guy. Mike Bresson. Entire Bresson family. Would you all stand up and do it again, please? To give the Jeff Losey 110% award, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend. And of course, the only one who would come up here and talk money at this dais, Al Nicola.
For those of you who don't know, Jeff Losey was a linebacker for us and was killed in an automobile accident several years ago. And Jeff was a great football player. The Jeff Losey Sportsmanship and 110% Football Award. He recovered from the nose job to win this. Mike Dyer.
Thank you, Albert, very much. I want to put one rumor to rest right now. Albert and I really are good friends. He calls me your enormity. I call him your cheapness. It's a sign of affection. It's now my pleasure to reintroduce to you the Massena varsity football coach to give the Klein's All Sports Coaches Award for service and dedication. Once again, Tony DiAgostino.
I have to get my glasses on again. This particular award is sponsored by Klein's All Sports Shop through Rick O'Shaughnessy. And it's to a person who has come a long way from one year to the next. And he did lead us to the promised land. P.J. Rochford. That's a first. While I'm up here, we have another, it's in that holiday bag. This, I'm going to give back. I gave and took away, and now I'm going to give it back to him. Is Sean's football, the game that he went over 1,000 yards. We had a little artwork done to it. And on it, it's got Sean Fauché, 1,000 yards, 94-95. I can't remember the game that he did it in. The Governor Championship game. Sean, don't throw this on the asphalt, okay?
Thank you, Coach. Now to present the Pete's Jewelers Award for the Most Improved Offensive Player, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the founder of Pete's Jewelers, Mr. Olin Peets.
It is my pleasure. And first of all, I want congratulations.
Pete Stewart Award, Most Improved Offensive Football Player Award. 1994, Austin Rush.
Olin, we thank you. We thank you for providing that award for us. Now here to honor us by giving the Massena Football Club's Defensive Player of the Year Award. Whom did you decide will do this? Mr. Dave Zappia.
This guy played varsity football with us for 3 years. He led the league in interceptions. When he's not watching the girls, he's a pretty good football player. Although his choice of ties leave a little bit to be desired. Bobby Flynn.
Next, we have the Captain's Awards, which have not been given as yet. Chief, do you want to do that? Oh, are you going to do the Captain's Awards? Come on up, please. The Massena Exempt Fireman Captain's Awards. Once again, Owen Pete.
Thank you. As president of the Massena Exempt Firemen, you know that we are very, very proud of our 1994 football team. What is the Massena an exempt fireman? He is a fireman, a volunteer fireman, who has been in service for 5 or more years, or for some reason or other, he gets honorably discharged. Maybe he's moved away, maybe he's become ill, maybe he's been in the department about 30, 40 years, and then he wants to get out. That's a Massena exempt fireman. And tonight, we're happy to give the 2 captains each a little plaque. And first of all, I'd like to call up Corey David. And this other fellow, what's his name? Oh, my grandson, Sean Poche.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here to present the next award, the Mike Hazelton Memorial Award for Excellence. My pleasure to reintroduce the supervisor, Dwayne Hazelton, and his wife, Charlene.
Got to put her shoes on. I also believe, well, our guest with us tonight is our granddaughter Lauren, and my daughter Kelly and son-in-law Ron are in the back, I believe, serving. But on behalf of the Hazelton family, we'd like to present this award. It goes in memory of our son who played played 3 years of varsity football, and he was on the 1980 team as the captain, and he was most valuable lineman. And on behalf of my family, we present this to James Mock.
I don't know about you folks, but rarely have we seen such improvement in 1 year in a football player such as that one right there. Congratulations, James. Before we have the final 2 awards of the evening, there is one person in this room that, for some reason or another, we have failed to mention to this point, and it is not out of neglect, it's just out of short between the headsets. Those of you who went to Kingston, who have a New York State football playoff program, you see the number 1 team listed as far as New York State winning streaks go is Massena Central School with the New York State record 55. Folks, there's always somebody going to try to get to that record. There's always somebody going to try to top that record. I don't think it's ever going to be done. And that record is directly responsible to one man. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you to stand, Mike Nicholas. Coach, without your dedication and your service to this community, this program is not anything like it is today. We thank you. Now here to present the Italian American Civic Association Award for Lineman of the Year, once again, Coach Quentin Sidden.
The Jim Fiacco Award is presented by the Italian American Civic Association in memory of Jim Fiacco, who played football in Massena, and then when he graduated from Massena, went to Syracuse University and played football, and also captained that one of those years for that football team down there. This is unprecedented, but it's well-deserved. The 1994 Lineman Award goes to Brian Bartow, Mike Clarton, Frank Kutsakria, Donnie Moffitt, Pat Trippany, and Callie Wells.
Folks, yes, go ahead, please. Here is the permanent plaque, by the way, that hangs in the hall at Massena High School with all 6 of their names on it forever at Massena Central. So much for offensive linemen not getting a heck of a lot of recognition, huh? They deserve it. And now the time has come for the presentation of the annual Mike Mitigo Award, symbolizing the most valuable player for Massena Central High School varsity football. That award will be presented by the chief of the Massena Volunteer Fire Department. Take place.
Thank you, Sandy. A little history on the Mike Medica, in case people don't know about it. The Mike Medica Award was given in the name of Mike Medica, who served in World War II on the aircraft carrier USS Ticonderoga. He was a member of the 1930 undefeated Massena High School football team and a member of the Massena Volunteer Fire Department. Mike was a great competitor and a credit to his team, his country, and his hometown. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to present the 1994 Mike Medica Award to team captains Corey David and Sean Fulcher.
I'd just like to say thanks to all the guys on the team for letting me and Sean be captains of the team and being part of the ride. I'd like to thank all the coaches, Mr. Nicola, Coach D, Mr. Zavi, and Mr. Sidden, and thank my parents for putting up with my moves at home. but I know I'll never forget this season. I'd like to thank the guys for putting up with us and listening to us and helping us along. And this doesn't go to us, but it also goes to you guys. The coaches, we'd like to thank you. It's going to be hard letting you guys go. We're going to really miss you guys. And thanks to my parents for putting up with me. And just thank the crowd and the parents and everybody. Just thanks.
At this time, I'd like to thank Sandy Cook and WMSA radio station for all they've done for the Massena Fire Department and WEPT. That's a harder one to get out. WEPT for all they've done for us throughout the year. Thank you very much.
I have two things for you. One, all the award winners, Massena's official photographer would like you to stay so we can get your pictures. Two, an invitation to the parents of the football players that if you would like to remain for a while, we will have a little social gathering in which we'll serve Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola from the Joe McCauley fan club stage over here. Folks, there were several things I knew were going to happen before this night was over. One, we have won. Two, we set a record for standing ovations, which we have done, and they're all deserved. And three, I knew somewhere along the night that the emotions would get somewhere the best of all of us. We are truly thankful and proud of this football team and all of the parents and anyone who has been involved. This is truly one remarkable year, one that a lot of us will never forget. We thank you all for coming. Thanks to the Volunteer Fire Department for hosting us. Before we leave this evening, Monsignor Pendergast, would you like to benedict us, please?
Before we conclude this evening, I'd also like to add my congratulations to the team. I haven't had a chance to see them together since the last game, but certainly I'm very proud of you, and as your parents are, and as the coaches and everybody here this evening. So we wish you the very best in the future, and we hope that you'll come back and see us. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet and share each other's companionship this evening. We thank you for our youth who distinguished themselves on the football field, and we thank you for the favors you have given them. In your goodness, you have favored us and kept us safe. We ask that you continue to protect us and shelter us in the shadow of your wings. As we leave here this evening, give us a restful sleep. We ask Almighty God to bless you, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Folks, to the football team, you might stand around and savor this a few minutes because it's the last time you'll be together as a football team. Thank you all. Good night.